Forbes has released a rather very interesting insight report that tells you exactly how much the Indiana Fever's social media engagements are actually monetarily worth, either on X or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, whatever. I mean, all these posts have a monetary...
The Indiana Fever just changed the WNBA forever. When Forbes dropped their latest report, even the haters had to pause. The numbers were brutal, undeniable, and game-ending for every argument about who really runs this league. The Fever's social media was valued at $55 million. Not team revenue, not sponsorships, just their online presence. 55 million, and the next closest team didn't even crack 9. That's not competition, that's obliteration. And if you think that number just came out of nowhere, think again, because this isn't a fluke. This is what happens when one player walks into the league and flips the entire system upside down. Caitlin Clark didn't just boost attendance or sell jerseys. She turned a struggling franchise into the most valuable brand in women's basketball. Reports say the Fever's social reach this season topped 1.17 billion impressions and almost 40 million engagements. That's billion, with a B. To put it bluntly, that's more digital attention than some NBA teams get all year. So how did it happen? Simple. The Caitlin Clark effect. From the second she was drafted, every camera, every algorithm, and every conversation followed her. Fans call her a once-in-a-generation player, but what she's doing goes far beyond basketball. She's rewriting how star power works in the WNBA, but not everyone's celebrating. The old guard fans, the ones who claim the league should treat every player equally, are furious. They've been saying for months that Clark gets too much credit, that she's overhyped, that her fame takes away from everyone else. But those same fans can't argue with math. This isn't a vibe. It's a verified study from STN Digital and Zoom Analytics, tracking over 20,000 posts across every major platform. They calculated what that kind of exposure would cost in paid advertising, and the answer was staggering. The Fever's organic content alone delivered $55 million worth of media value. Dallas came in second at just over $8.6 million. Las Vegas, New York, and Chicago rounded out the top 5.
If you're a Caitlin Clark fan, if you're an Indiana Fever fan, this is something you already know. However, for the haters out there, the old WNBA fandom, many of you call them the slows,
all under 8 million each. That's not a small gap, that's a canyon. The Fever aren't playing the same game as everyone else. They're operating in a completely different economy. When one team's content is worth 5 times more than anyone else's, that's not random, that's dominance. And the craziest part? It's mostly off one player's name. The same rookie that critics said would need time to adjust just transformed a franchise overnight. One Fever. YouTube video was valued at over $733,000 by itself. One post. That's more than some team's entire social media worth for the season. Let that sink in. When one highlight clip is worth another team's total value, that's not hype, it's history. The study covered content between May 16th and September 11th during the heart of the season. Even after the games ended, the Fever didn't stop. They kept posting Clark content, behind-the-scenes moments, training clips, mic'd-up videos, anything to keep fans engaged, and it worked. Their audience stayed active long after the final buzzer. That's what smart franchises do when they realize they've got lightning in a bottle. The Fever are no longer just a basketball team. They're a media empire powered by a single player. And while everyone's arguing about fairness, the Fever are stacking brand deals and expanding partnerships like never before. Every major sponsor wants in because they know where the attention is. That's how the business works. Attention equals leverage. Leverage equals money. And right now, the Fever have more of both than anyone else in the WNBA. But this isn't just about one team's success. It's about what it reveals about the entire league. For years, the WNBA tried to sell the idea that every player deserves the same spotlight, that the league should grow collectively, not individually. It sounds good on paper, but fans don't connect to logos. They connect to people. They follow personalities, not parity. Caitlin Clark proved that in real time. Her highlights go viral, her interviews trend, and even her haters can't look away. She brings emotion, drama, and unpredictability, everything that drives viewership. And that's what the numbers reflect.
For those fans, they're in complete denial. We've tried to tell people Caitlin Clark moves the needle unlike anybody else in this league, or everybody else in this league. It just sort of is what it is. Fans are coming to see one particular player, and along with that, carries over the
Fever's digital explosion isn't just proof of her popularity, it's proof of how sports fandom really works. The Dallas Wings tried to follow the same blueprint, leaning into Sophie Cunningham's personality and social presence, which boosted their numbers by over 500%. But even with that growth, they're still miles behind. Because there's a difference between being popular and being magnetic. Clark's impact isn't just big, it's generational. And that's forcing every other franchise to face a harsh reality. If you don't have a player who moves the culture, you're invisible. Winning games doesn't equal relevance anymore. Just ask Las Vegas. They've got rings, all-stars, and a dynasty, yet their social value is less than 1/7 of the Fever's. That's how wide the gap has become. The Fever's rise also exposes the league's biggest marketing problem. The WNBA still treats its stars like interchangeable parts, pushing equality over individuality. But sports thrive on superstars. Every major league in history has grown by embracing its icons: Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, LeBron James. The WNBA has one right now, and she's rewriting the rules while the league debates if it's fair. The Fever know exactly what they have. They're building everything around it. Their strategy isn't complicated. Give fans what they want. More Clark. More behind-the-scenes footage. More access. Because the data proves people can't get enough. And when that demand drives billions of impressions, sponsors notice. The Fever's digital footprint gives them massive leverage in every business conversation. A team that can deliver that much organic reach doesn't just sell tickets, it sells influence. That translates into more revenue, more partnerships, and more power inside the league. It also raises uncomfortable questions about player value. If one rookie is responsible for $55 million in social media exposure,
it's worth a lot of money. They are worth a lot of money, and I can tell you right now, that's a little over 5 times higher than the next WNBA team. 5 times higher. Let's go down here. Just scroll down. The Indiana Fever's staggering $55 million social media evaluation speaks volumes.
How do you justify paying her the same base salary as everyone else? Fans are starting to ask those questions loudly, and eventually the league will have to answer. The WNBA's current pay structure doesn't reward marketing impact, but numbers like these might change that conversation forever. What happens when the player driving nearly all the growth realizes her real worth? That's the moment franchises start rethinking contracts, endorsements, and long-term investments. The Fever can't afford to lose her, not just because of what she brings on the court, but because of what she's worth online. Losing her would mean losing tens of millions in digital value and sponsor attention overnight. For a franchise that's been historically overlooked, that's unthinkable. But the story doesn't end with the Fever. Every other team is now scrambling to adapt. They're studying the Fever's strategy, hiring new social teams, and trying to replicate the formula. But here's the thing. This kind of magic can't be faked. It's not about algorithms or timing. It's about charisma, controversy, and connection. And Caitlin Clark has all three. She's not just the face of a franchise, she's the narrative engine of the entire league. The report from STN Digital made it official. The Fever's social media value is 5 times higher than second place. They own one of the most engaged audiences in professional sports. Their content gets more impressions than some men's leagues. And the player behind it all hasn't even finished her rookie contract. That's not a marketing story. That's a cultural shift. And for every critic who said she was overhyped, the data just dropped the receipts. Billion-level reach, 40 million engagements, individual videos worth nearly $1 million. Those aren't exaggerations, they're documented facts. What started as hype has turned into measurable, unstoppable influence. The Fever's dominance is now the blueprint, but it's also a warning. Because if the WNBA doesn't figure out how to balance its message with its reality, the gap between the haves and have-nots will only grow. One team is setting the tone, and the rest are playing catch-up.
Seeing the growing popularity of WNBA across social media, social agency STN Digital, and analytics and measurement platform Zoom teamed up to quantify the league's online impact with a newly released WNBA social rankings and insight report. The research analyzes how every team performed across social media during the 2025 season and identifies which clubs and content pieces generated the most engagement, impressions, and estimated media value.
That's the new era of women's basketball, where star power isn't optional, it's survival. And for anyone still in denial, the numbers just ended the debate. $55 million in social media value. One player driving it all. The kind of dominance that can't be ignored. The WNBA wanted growth. Now it has it. But it came from one direction and one name that's changing everything. The Fever didn't just win the season, they conquered the internet. And if this is what year one looks like, the rest of the league better prepare for the aftershock. Because Caitlin Clark isn't slowing down. She's building an empire one post at a time. And here's the thing, most people still don't understand. This isn't just a social media story. It's a cultural turning point for women's sports. The WNBA has been fighting for visibility for decades, and now one rookie just handed them the blueprint for how to get it. Whether people love her or love to hate her, Caitlin Clark has everyone talking. And in the modern sports world, conversation is currency. Every tweet, every clip, every headline is free marketing that keeps the league relevant in a crowded sports landscape. For years, executives dreamed about a player who could bridge the gap between hardcore fans and casual viewers. Now they have her, and she's delivering results in real time. But with that spotlight comes pressure. Pressure on the league to protect her, promote her, and not waste this moment. The Fever's success shows what's possible when a team leans into momentum instead of resisting it. But the rest of the league needs to wake up. Because this kind of surge doesn't last forever. Right now, the Fever are riding a wave that could redefine how women's sports are marketed, monetized, and measured. $55 million in value isn't the ceiling, it's just the beginning.